safari through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. A little bit of history here. The reserve was established back in 1971 to help protect the local wildlife. Over the years, so many of the animals have become less afraid of humans, which is great for us, but unfortunately it does make them an easy target for poachers and illegal hunters. So in order to protect the animals, we have wildlife rangers that are constantly patrolling the 800 square miles of the reserve, and we are required to check in with the airborne warden whenever we enter the reserve. We'll be doing that here in just a moment. Now you want your cameras out and ready to go because the reserve is not going to be a stop out there for any reason. Alright, so you guys excited? You ready to go? Alright, airborne warden on patrol. This is Simba 1, over.
This is Warden Wilson Mutua. Over.
Jumbo Wilson, Simba 1 is now entering the Little Aturi Forest. Over.
I'm Jumbo, Simba 1. Keep your eyes open and drive carefully. You should see lots of animals.
Roger that. Alright, well you heard him, guys. Keep your eyes open because the animals in the forest, their natural colorings and markings blend very well into the background. Over on our right hand side, guys, there's two animals here. There's a darker brown one, has some white stripes on its legs. There it is walking around right over there. That is an okapi. The okapi wasn't discovered until about 1901 by Western settlers. You see the stripes? However, it is not related to the zebra, but is in fact the only known relative of the giraffe. And the smaller one with the yellow stripe on its back, that is a yellow-backed duiker. It gets its name because it tends to dive into heavy brush to avoid predators. White bird over there to our left, that is a yellow-billed stork. They tend to eat snakes, frogs, fish, and smaller birds. Now, watering holes like this one on our left are an important gathering place for the animals of the forest. This is one of the best chances we have of seeing some of the more rarer species, such as these black rhinos. A couple laying down right here by the fallen tree to our left-hand side. Black rhinos have been hunted and poached for their horns. Hundreds of thousands of them have been killed, so now there are less than 4,200 left in all of Africa. Their hide is about 1 inch thick, and they can charge up to about 35 miles an hour, but sadly, even on a reserve like this one, they are still not completely safe from poachers. Black and white bird, top of the hill up there on our right, that is a saddle-billed stork, and it is the tallest stork in Africa. It stands about 5 feet tall, which has a wingspan of around 8 to 9 feet. Alright, very exciting, guys. Handful of animals right off the bat for us to see. Hopefully that's going to continue throughout the rest of the day. Alright, you guys like hippos, right? Alright, good. We're going to head towards the Sapi River next, so I want you to keep your eyes open and peeled for me as we're approaching the river because there are almost always hippos here. Hippos are among Africa's largest animals. At birth, a calf can weigh about 85 pounds. By the time a hippo is fully grown, you can see a couple of there to our right-hand side. Right, if the scales, if it's a male, at around 5,000 pounds. Don't worry, guys, we're going to go a little bit further upstream here so we can find a better view for you. Now, hippos are nocturnal. They come out to eat about 150 pounds of vegetation and grasses each night. And they can stay submerged underwater anywhere from 5 to 8 minutes. A couple of larger white birds here to our left. Those are pink-backed pelicans. They're on the shore and in the river and on the island. Pink-backed pelicans, a group of them will herd smaller fish into shallow water to feed on. And here we go, guys. Here's a pile of hippos here to our left. Smaller waterfalls there to our left. But as we're crossing this rickety old bridge, take a look down on either side. You were sure to see some Nile crocodiles. These crocodiles are much larger and much more aggressive than the American alligator. Growing up to 20 feet in length, they have 1,200 pounds per square inch of crushing power in their jaws. to literally crush the bones of their prey. And since they always seem hungry, I didn't plan on sticking around there too long.
Simba 1, come in.
Roger, this is Simba 1, over.
Just wanted to let you know that my ground patrol has seen a lot of elephant activity near the Red Lake Pit. You definitely want to check out that area.
Roger that. Alright. Well, as we're leaving the river, looks like we're approaching the savannah. See a completely different ecosystem. Hopefully lots of different animals. Speaking of different though, very strange, kind of funky, upside down looking tree that you see to our right hand side. That is called a baobab tree. And it can survive long periods of drought by storing water in its trunk and actually going leafless for up to about 9 months in a year. Here we are, guys. Now, one of my favorite views in the entire reserve. The Serengeti grasslands stretches for hundreds of miles across East Africa. It is a super highway for millions of migrating animals each year. And it's also a home to some of our more famous animals, like lions, elephants, the giraffe and the zebra, the cheetah, lots of antelope and gazelle, as well as the warthog. The landscape of the savannah is actually created by the animals that live here. So as you look across the savannah, you'll notice that there are no lower leaves on any of the trees. All of the leaves are on the top half or above 18 feet. But why do you think that is?
Animals eat them.
Okay, but what animal?
Giraffe.
Yeah, the giraffes. That's why we call the giraffes the pruning shears of the savannah, because they'll eat the underside of the tree, which actually helps to let more light in. Now, these tall cones of earth we're coming up to on our right and left hand side of the truck, these are termite mounds, and baked in the sun they become hard as concrete. Elephants will use them as a scratching post, and by the time they're fully worn down all the way, smaller gazelles like the Thompson's gazelle will stand on top of them to look out for any lions that might be hiding out in the grass. Another perfect example of the landscape is this fallen tree over here to our left, right in the middle of the path. What animal would be large enough and strong enough to push a tree down?
Elephant.
The elephant, yeah. Elephants are kind of like the bulldozers of the savannah. They push the trees down to eat, which helps to let the seed spread. You have the giraffes, and they're like the pruning shears. The larger antelope and the zebra will help to mow the grass down. And little nibblers like the Thompson's gazelle and the warthog will trim up the edges. So in a natural, balanced ecosystem, there's enough food out there for everyone. I see some very recognizable reticulated giraffe over here to our right-hand side, kind of there back by the brush. They get their name from the Latin word reticulata, which means net, and it's referring to the net-like pattern of spots that they have on their coat. Here to our left, hiding out in the tree, a couple of gray animals. These are white-bearded wildebeest. 1.5 million migrate across Africa each year, the largest herd of any migrating animal. Over to our right, the larger antelope you see standing up back there, those are Patterson's eland. Largest antelope in Africa. Adult males will stand 6 feet tall at the shoulder and weigh up to 2,000 pounds. The smaller ones that have the black stripe on their side and the white belly, those are Thompson's gazelle up at the top of the hill, or Tommies, as we like to call them, and fully grown. They only weigh about 60 pounds. And Collie cattle there with huge horns, they can grow 5 to 6 feet in length, up to 20 inches in circumference at the base. Right there by the tree stump is kind of a lonely grayish-brown animal laying down. That's a water buck. Only the males have the horns, but they have an oily secretion from their skin, helps to waterproof their coat. Way off there in the back, kind of look up to the very top of the hill by the baobab tree, some impala standing up back there. They can leap up to 30 feet in length in one single bound, which is roughly about the length of this truck. Only the males have the beautifully curved horns. And there are some darker brown antelope just past these trees right here, right in front of us. These are sable antelope. And they're the emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Their horns can grow up to 54 inches in length.
Zimmerman, this is Wilson. What is your location? Over.
Near Monkey Point, headed toward Elephant Country, over.
Keep your eyes open for me. We picked up a baby elephant that was wandering off on its own. We can't find the mother. I'm afraid fortune may be in the reserve.
Roger that. We'll keep an eye open and let you know if we see anything. Alright, well, that's not good, guys. Apparently some poachers might have snuck into the reserve, so we're gonna have to keep our eyes open because the baby elephant is separated from its mother. So, speaking of African elephants, guys, way over there to our far right, you can see one. Over there to our left, guys, kind of hiding out in the rocks there, walking around the trees, you can see a mandrill monkey. Africa's largest monkey. Adult males weigh about 100 pounds. Very shy, however. I tend to use grooming to up strength their social bond. I'm going to turn the radio on here, guys. So you can find some music to listen to. There we go. Let's see if there's not going to smell Vegas. Continue up ahead here. No, hang on a sec, guys. This bridge has been damaged. We're going to cross the bridge, pole, which means very slowly. So they will cross your fingers so that we can get across the bridge without a problem. Alright, looks like we're going to be fine. You guys get there. Oh no! Hang on, everybody! Let's get off this bridge! I'm so sorry, guys. I promise to not cross any more bridges that are like that again. But I have to say thank you, though, because I know the only reason we made it across safely was because you all had your fingers crossed for me, right? Yeah, that's what I thought too. Thank you, guys. But you can see some tusk marks and footprints there in the clay. Elephants will eat the clay to gain beneficial minerals. Now, African elephants will eat up to about 300 pounds of vegetation and grasses each day. Both male and female African elephants have tusks. One of the ways we keep all of the animals here on the reserve safe, besides patrolling the area at all times, is to bring scientists in to help study the animals. Now we have a group of scientists in the reserve right now that are working on elephant vocal communication. And that's going to help us to better understand how the elephants interact with one another and what they actually need to survive. But one of the reasons that the warden is so concerned about the baby elephant that was found all alone is the baby elephants hardly ever leave the mother's side. They'll stay extremely close to the adult elephant. They actually stay with their mothers for about 12 to 15 years. That's because they actually learn by watching and copying the adult and their behavior. There's a flock of flamingos here to our left in the water. These are greater flamingo, and they are the lightest pink of all flamingo species. Their distinct color comes from their diet. They primarily eat tiny brine shrimp and other water creatures that are high in keratin. Some more reticulated giraffes there to our right-hand side. Gorgeous, guys. We're going to continue. Over here to our left-hand side, guys, these brown animals, these are bontebok. Now, sadly, the bontebok are extinct in the wild. Unfortunately, a reserve like this one is the only place in the world that you'll ever see one. Over here to our right, pile of ostrich eggs. Largest egg of any bird. Looks like a white pile of rocks there on the ground. One ostrich egg will actually weigh about 3 pounds. Let's see if we can find some more animals for you guys.
Simbawan, I see you at the junction. I suggest you go west. It will be worth it.
Roger that. Thanks for the advice. Alright, guys, well, as we're heading west, so take a look over to our left. You can see some spotted cats laying right there behind the rocks. Those are cheetahs. The fastest land cat in the world, reaching speeds of 60 to 70 miles an hour. The cheetah is the only cat that uses their sense of sight to hunt with. That's because they hunt during the day. Other cats tend to rely more on their sense of smell because they hunt more at night. Obviously, they can't see as well. This rock formation straight ahead of us here is called a kopje. It juts out across the savanna, primarily used by bigger cats such as the lion that sun themselves. They'll also use it as a perch to look out for any prey that just might be out there. Over here to our right hand side, you can see a pile of bones or remains of some kind of animal there. Lions will stay inactive anywhere from 20 to 22 hours a day. How many of you guys would like to be able to stay in bed for 20 hours? Yeah, I definitely would. And you can see a couple of white rhinos over there to our right hand side. White rhinos are Africa's greatest success story. They were nearly hunted to extinction due to their poor eyesight. However, reserves like this one are helping to re-establish their population to a more sustainable rate. And over here to our left, you can see the male lion laid out right there at the bottom of the kopje, right there in front of the tree. Its mane sticking up there. The female lion, the lioness, she's the one who does the majority of the hunting. Looks like she's probably back inside the kopje. We have a warthog over here to our left-hand side. Their razor-sharp tusks they use to dig their holes out in the ground there, their burrow. But then they go into their burrow backwards. That's to expose their tusks to ward off any predators. Over here to our right-hand side, another pile of ostrich eggs. Better view of the white rhinos there to our left. They get their name from the word fight, which means wide, a very wide mouth, very, very blunt mouth, which is perfect for the savanna grass, but they weigh about 2,000 pounds heavier than the black rhino that we saw earlier.
Timberman, there are poachers in the area.
Oh no.
Can you help us cut them off?
Well, that's so good, guys. Apparently some poachers have snuck into the reserve. I'd really like to help the warden chase the poachers. Are you guys okay with that? Alright, thank you so much. Hang on though, guys. These gates are never supposed to be open. Hold on. Warden, we found a smashed gate, so we're going to take a look on the other side for you. Do you have any idea what direction these poachers might be headed?
The poachers are heading east. Keep going, and we'll drive them to my control. Over.
Roger that, we're on our way. I have to warn you guys, I'm not usually on this side of the reserve, so I do apologize if I run into anything. Just do me a favor, stay seated and hang on. Try to keep everybody dry. Keep your eyes open. Oh. No, hang on guys, I think we're right behind them. Is everyone okay back there? Alright. No, warning, there's a butcher cave up ahead. However, it does look to be deserted. I'm afraid we're too late.
Oh, not to worry. You drop them right into my patrol.
Alright, hang on everybody.
Thanks to you, they are now all safe.
If you often safe in the back of the truck, the blue in there must belong to the
I
poachers.
have to go now. We have to get this baby elephant back to its mother.
Roger that, we're glad we were able to help you out. Well, thank you so much, guys. And because of you, the baby elephant is safe, and we will be able to reunite it back with his mother here in just a little bit. Unfortunately, due to the detour that we are behind on our scheduled trek, so I am going to have to drop you off back at the nearest warden's post. From there, though, it's just a short walk back to the Harambe village. Well, thank you for choosing Kilimanjaro Safaris for your safari expedition through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. My name was Joseph. I had a great time out there. Did you guys enjoy yourselves? Have fun? Yeah! All right. You guys are most welcome. Looks like this is going to be our stop here, so watch your fingers to the right-hand side as Pam's going to be opening our doors. Watch your step down. Make sure you have all of your belongings with you. One last thing, though, we don't like to say goodbye to our friends here in Harambe. Instead, we say Kwaherini, which is Swahili for go well. So Kwaherini, everybody. Kwaherini.